in Chicago now, so let's go. So complete chaos in Chicago as there was a large crowd that interfered with federal ICE agents, cracking down on migrants. And I said on numerous people's programs before August and throughout my entire programming of this year, as soon as Trump made his promise to come to Chicago, that this is going to escalate and get out of control. And I blame all parties, from the Trump administration to Mayor Brandon Johnson to Governor J.B. Pritzker. All right, a real sit down needs to happen, or things are going to escalate out of control. And control has been lost. So if you are sensitive to difficult images, please look away. But this is happening in my city, and this happened yesterday. I'm going to rewind this again, but this was not at an ICE protest. This was not at an ICE detention facility center. This was not in the middle of downtown Chicago, nor protesting in front of Trump Tower at Upper Wacker Drive. This is in a neighborhood in the city of Chicago. You know that video that was at 63rd and Cosner? I played it on my show. Jimmy Dore played it. A few other people played it on their programming. Yeah, this is just another neighborhood in the south side of Chicago. Please tell me how things are not going to get out of hand. And people who joke that Chicago will not be a war zone or saying, oh, no, Chicago. I understand there are influencers out there showing Chicago being a great place. Yeah, for the moment. But it's at our doorstep right now. If you're telling me that this won't escalate or blow up into a full-on conflict or either that, hostilities between regular Chicagoans, ICE, law enforcement, this is how a city consumes itself. Stop this before it gets out of hand.
Herman, get back! Alma. Where is she at? I don't know.
I just noticed that right there. But my God, was there a baby? My God. There was a baby in a car that they're trying to get out.
Alma. Where is she at? I don't know.
That was yesterday. All right, it's going to happen. Gradually, slowly. And I said that things were going to... Do I sound like a happy man? No. I'm not happy any of this is unfolding the way this is happening right now. Do I feel like doing any kind of victory lap? No, I feel like walking around in my neighborhood hoping everything still stays the same because I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my soul that this city is going to tear itself apart. That's not at a regular protest. That is somewhere in which the community saw ICE detaining someone. People were upset. People were speaking out. People's emotions getting very high. And I want to point out here, the community makeup. Who was that person that they were detaining? Was that a bad guy? Was it a full-on citizen? But ICE chose to, respond in a way in which, got to control and de-escalate the situation, right? All what that did is escalate things further because everyone's going to remember being tear gas, shot at by rubber bullets, being pushed away. And the thing is, ICE doing your operations in these neighborhoods, there doesn't seem to be any coordination at all. Now, I understand everyone is right now shooting from the hip, but now, before it's too late, everyone needs to take 2 steps back. Because if there's no communication between the mayor and the governor with President Donald Trump, if there's no de-escalation, someone will get hurt. And people are getting hurt. But by I mean getting hurt, I mean lives being lost. And I don't want to see anybody die. Chicago's got enough blood in its streets to last a lifetime. But in this 1 minute, 27-second clip, I see things playing out in a way in which there will be increased hostility. Because next thing you know, people are firing tear gas. ICE is firing tear gas. People could fire right back. We don't know. People's emotions are at an all-time high. I want to play another video segment here where another ICE raid taking place where a car crashes, hit and run, and assault on U.S. citizens. I want to play this video here.
And you were able to talk to some neighbors and some witnesses there on the scene and describe to us what initially...
Judy, wait 1 second. Okay. I see Chicago police are arriving and putting themselves in the middle of the situation right now. It appears there might be...
This is at a different location now, folks.
Someone in command, from what I can see, approaching the area. I'm not sure if this is in an attempt to start dispersing the crowds. But we have just in the last few seconds seen Chicago police, who had remained at bay, now starting to put themselves in the middle of the, protesters are starting to throw rocks. We're going to get away from the scene right now, Judy.
Okay, Michelle, you take care of yourself. I'm going to let her get off the phone. We really appreciate it. Get to a safe place. So what you're watching, what you continue to watch, is exactly what Michelle has been describing. This, again, at the intersection 105th and Avenue N. Last Michelle said is protesters started throwing rocks, and you can see that there is some chemical being deployed right there at this intersection. Just prior to this, you did see what appeared to be Chicago police officers and some commanders there trying to have some type of a dialogue with the protesters there at the intersection. It would seem that they were trying to disperse the crowd and maybe usher them off the street so that the agents could possibly move their vehicles. And it was at that point that Michelle noticed that protesters started throwing rocks, and this is the end result. Earlier, we had heard that there were pepper balls being sprayed into the crowd because someone had thrown eggs, or some neighbors had thrown something at the agents. And now reports of rocks being thrown, and that was coming from Michelle, a reporter right there on the ground. She has now gotten off the phone with us. They're trying to get to a safer place, of course, but we can continue to watch this picture. Fortunately, with Chopper 7 up in the air, we can still continue to monitor what is happening here. Again, if you are just joining us here on stream, this situation has been very tense for the last, maybe about 40 minutes.
That's one neighborhood in Chicago. Another perspective here. I want to pull this up here.
Federal agents sparked a protest and a chaotic chain of events. Two teenagers say they were wrongly detained in the middle of it all.
Winnie is in the newsroom with details. Winnie?
According to the Department of Homeland Security, a car with two illegal immigrants rammed their car into a Border Patrol vehicle. That car sped off, prompting the agents to chase them. Eventually, the agents performed a pit maneuver, forcing the suspect's red SUV to crash. Two people got out of the car and ran. It wasn't too long before they were caught and taken into custody.
We were driving and we seen ICE chasing a red SUV and taking stop signs, taking lights, and they almost hit us a couple of times. And once we got to my father-in-law's house, we seen the people that were in the red SUV, they were running. And then we seen the ICE agents run after them.
Now, the crash happened near 105th Street and Avenue.
Jesus Christ. Tell me how, for those who seem to be playing or dismissing the notion of my words that Chicago will become a war zone. Yeah, this is what's going to happen. If political leaders don't step up, I'm talking about the city, the state of Illinois, and yes, Trump's administration don't stop this now. If they don't call a halt to all operations right now, stuff like this, eventually a car crash is going to lead to what? Maybe people getting killed, children getting killed, ICE agents getting killed, law enforcement getting killed. Please tell me, what's the death toll that we want here? Because one is going to be too much, and that's going to be the catalyst. That's going to be the big match to explode it all. Neighborhoods being raided, people's rights being dismissed. But oh wait, that's already happening right now. This is just the stepping stones to get to the full pathway of Chicago being an absolute chaos. It's interesting. You know, the past 8 years talking about sanctuary cities, Chicago corruption, abuse of power, and how it all led up to this. You can't go back in time as much as you want. Believe you me, I've been praying. You can't time travel. Time travel is impossible. The only thing you can do is save the future. And the only way to really save anything, and I learned this lesson, the only way you could do it is right now taking the steps necessary to end this. And that means leaders got to talk before stuff like this leads to more pain.
And taking stop signs, taking lights, and they almost hit us a couple of times. And once we got to my father-in-law's house, we seen the people that were in the red SUV, they were running. And then we seen the ICE agents run after them.
Now, the crash happened near 105th Street and Avenue N around 11 Tuesday morning. Witnesses and neighbors began to crowd the area. Chicago police responded to the crash for a report. While on scene, officers tried to de-escalate the crowd. Police say people began to throw objects at the agents. That's when they deployed their tear gas into the street. 13 officers were exposed. 2 teens were detained among the chaos. Cell phone video shows an ICE agent on top of 19-year-old Warren King outside of a Walgreens.
He's a citizen! He's a citizen!
And also a 15-year-old boy can be seen handcuffed and being placed in the back seat of an unmarked car. WGN talked to the boy's mother shortly after she got the call.
My phone was getting blown up. My job phone was getting blown up. They just told me, Juanita, you have an emergency. ICE took your son. They beat him up. They body slammed him, and they took your son. So I came as quick as I can. I work all the way up 47th in Lake Park. It's like a 20-minute ride. So I got here as fast as I can.
Now, the 15-year-old has been reunited with his mother. The family's attorney says he was slammed to the ground, kneed in the back, and zip-tied. He was detained for 5 hours. His attorney is now conducting a civil investigation. As for the 19-year-old, he too was detained for hours but released the same day. Both teens are U.S. citizens. No charges were filed against either of them. In the newsroom, Winnie Dorch.
Talk about that dramatic clash today between ICE agents and a crowd of people in Chicago's East Side neighborhood.
It started with a pursuit, then a crash, and it resulted in a confrontation between federal agents and the crowd that gathered. At one point, tear gas was released on the people in the area. NBC5's JC Navarrete joining us live. He spoke with witnesses tonight. JC.
Hey there, Allison, Stefan. You're absolutely right. This all started here with a chase. DHS confirming here that a Border Patrol operation here was targeting 2 people That's when that chase happened and that crash really spiraling and creating some chaos here, sparking a showdown with neighbors.
He's not an immigrant. He was born and raised here.
Reaction erupting Tuesday night in the East Side neighborhood. Juanita Garnica telling NBC5 her 16-year-old son, Josiah Lee Williams, was arrested by Customs and Border Patrol. Williams was among a crowd that surrounded agents after the chase ended in this crash at 105th and Avenue N. DHS says agents were pursuing this red car, a white SUV following close behind, targeting 2 undocumented migrants. DHS says that car rammed their vehicle earlier in the morning, leading to the chase. Witnesses telling us that chase lasted nearly 30 minutes before agents performed a pit maneuver. The crowd quickly gathered, tensions flaring as neighbors confronted Border Patrol. One man, who asked us to call him Polly, admits someone in the crowd threw something.
Somebody threw a water bottle or something. It was something really minor. It wasn't even something crazy.
That's when this happened.
I know that the judge 2 weeks ago blocked them from using this. They're not supposed to use it, but they just threw it at everybody, and all of us started running, and we were throwing up and puking and crying.
They threw gas on us, and then a couple times. And then after that, before they left, they did it again.
Tonight, family confirms a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old were taken into custody during the chaos. The city of Chicago now saying federal agents, not residents, fueled the escalation.
This type of escalation is what is going to cause harm. It's not the people of Chicago, but it's the federal agents. And to put everyone on alert over the next few days to just be careful.
DHS says the crowd turning hostile is what led agents to use crowd control measures.
Now, it is important to know that the Chicago Police Department is also speaking out here tonight. They tell us they were not a part of this operation. As a matter of fact, they came out here to the scene to attempt to de-escalate as things were starting to get out of hand. 13 CPD officers felt the effects here of that spray as well. Now, in the end, at the end of the day, 4 people were arrested by Border Patrol agents, including those original 2 that were in that red car. Back to you.
JC Navarrete on the East Side tonight. JC, thank you so much.
All right. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, first of all, is this not the beginning? Oh, wait, we're already past the beginning. We're already chapters in the beginning to where we get into the main story, and that is everyone in Chicago being on alert, everyone being careful. ICE, you have a hammer in your hand, everything looks like a nail. Where's Mayor Brandon Johnson? Where's Governor J.B. Pritzker? And see, the Chicago Police Department are in a very precarious spot here because now they have to be the in-between between ICE and the protesters. There has to be a communication between Governor Pritzker with Mayor Brandon Johnson to Trump, because now people are being tear gassed, people are being detained, U.S. citizens now, U.S. citizens being flagged and profiled. How can this go wrong? Well, a lot. It wouldn't be the first time someone gets detained and gets deported out of the country for being viewed or profiled incorrectly. It's not the first time. I know you heard that correctly from me. It's not the first time. And this is happening in a major metropolitan city. We are seeing what we normally would witness maybe on our smartphones, on our laptops, of, crackdowns of dissidents in third world countries, but this is happening in the USA. So when we see blood on the streets in the town of Chicago, thank you, shout out to Dan Barr, thank you so much for that comment. I want you to be wrong about that comment, but I've been saying this now for the past couple of weeks, since August actually. So from August, September, and now in October, that there's going to be blood and violence in the streets of Chicago. The city is $1.1 billion in the hole, and there's no leadership. Where is the de-escalation? Hey, do I have to say ceasefire in Chicago? Do I have to say those words? I mean, we've been saying ceasefire in Ukraine, ceasefire in Gaza, ceasefire in Chicago. No, literally, ceasefire in Chicago, because these are U.S. citizens that are being now, arrested, handcuffed, detained. How this can all devolve into something very horrific. And we have a rare moment, a rare window that's closing right now. We have to keep it open. So right now there's a full-on de-escalation. No more ICE raids, no more posturing, no more tweets, but a full-on sit-down of what the overall plan is going to be. Chicago was never ready to be a sanctuary city. I want to be clear on that. Chicago marking itself as a sanctuary city was a mistake, not only by the previous administration, but also by Lightfoot, by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's administration. This city was never ready for it. All right. The sanctuary shelters, bad idea. Chicago being a sanctuary city, bad idea. The way ICE is handling and rounding up migrants, absolutely terrible. And especially the operations happening on south and west side neighborhoods in Chicago, absolutely horrific. Because now you're seeing citizens being tear gassed and detained. People who aren't normally politically active. Please tell me how this will not hypercharge people to wonder about the next city election, because that's what's going to happen in 2027. We think what's going down in New York City's crazy. Get ready for Chicago in 2027. That's what's going to be the real crazy story. Because right now, the whole system is going to be challenged from within and outside. And in a city that's already hyper segregated, that's already divided, that is already suffering and struggling day in, day out, the operations of ICE in this city and the potential of the National Guard being deployed here in the city of Chicago will be a point of no return. I say this not to cause fear, but I say this as a warning. Chicago will be a war zone if nothing is stopped. It's got to be stopped now. It has to be stopped. And I remember remarking this for these past 2 months. You know, all the videos that we've seen, all the posturing, the funny video of that one guy driving off on the bicycle while being chased by ICE. We can laugh at that now. But that video was just a turning point. Oh yeah, look at ICE chase that guy on the bike. Now we're seeing it in our neighborhoods. Now we're seeing it in our streets, in front of our schools, in front of our homes. There's no denying it. We want to have a better future. Our leaders need to step up. But oh wait, I forgot. How foolish of me. The key ingredient is leadership, tact, accountability, which is something that all of our leaders are lacking right now. Because everyone wants to have the feel-good points and the one-upsmanship. Tell me, folks, what could possibly go wrong? Hard Lens Media will be talking more about this, and we'll be covering it. Give us a like and comment so YouTube doesn't suppress the story.